I want to pay tribute in recognition of Mike Reynolds of Fresno, California, who recently passed away. He's left behind an indelible legacy on our state, and indeed, for people that love safe streets and feel that it's proper to make those criminals pay the price for their activity. Mike was a remarkable individual who exemplified resilience and dedication in the face of adversity that he and his family faced throughout his life. He indeed was the driving force behind the 3 strikes law in California that many other states since picked up afterwards. This after the tragic murder of his daughter by violent serial offenders during a robbery. His daughter, Kimber, pictured here. No parent should have to see the loss of their child, especially time and time again around our country with repeat offenders. We know better. We know better as a society that how to treat crime, how to deal with it. Yet, this happens. So Mike was a champion for passing an initiative in California called the 3 Strikes and You're Out law to make sure that repeat offenders would do proper prison time and not be out on the streets subjecting our neighbors, our friends, our family to these violent criminals time and time again. You know, we hear a conversation here, something called gun violence. Well, a gun is an inanimate object. It's people that do the violence. It's people that have to be held accountable. Mike Reynolds was a driving force, the driving force in California that helped change how crime was fought. And it's up to us to uphold his legacy for preserving what safety we have on our streets, which we don't have a lot of, especially in our urban areas. So what Mike did was an homage to his daughter, Kimber, in making other families not have to suffer as they had to. So indeed, over 20 states have enacted laws with the same purpose as the original 3 strikes in California that Mike drove. So I want Mike's family to know that we appreciate him as a good man who showed strength of character, turned an unimaginable tragedy into a force indeed for good. We will miss Mike and grieve for him. I've had a chance to meet with him, and I enjoyed being able to work with him when I was a state legislator to ensure that we didn't lose ground on what we had gained. So it's at this time we grieve for him, we grieve for his family, we honor his memory and celebrate indeed the profound impact he had not only on the state of California but on the country. You know, Mr. Speaker, when we talk about how do we keep our streets safe, or how do we make them safer than they are, because we see in our blue cities all around the country, they have some of the most aggressive anti-gun laws, and yet the crime is the highest in those areas. Because what do we have instead? The work that has been done through the 3 strikes and you're out in order to keep violent prisoners in prison, pay the price. It's been undone by defund the police, undone by watering down sentencing laws. Even it's absurd. You know, we have all the anti-gunners here saying we have gun violence, yet they taken away the sentence enhancements for use a gun, go to jail. When using gun in a crime, there used to be special enhancements in my home state. They've basically eviscerated those. How does that make an ounce of sense when you're an anti-gun on one side, yet you don't want to have the enhancements because you don't want people to sit in prison? Indeed, there's more and more legislation all the time to figure out how to let prisoners out sooner. Some very violent offenders, to release them. Those on death row that have been downgraded because they got rid of some of the death penalty requirements for certain members on death row, and that Governor Newsom in California has completely done away with the death penalty during his time in office by executive action. It's still on the books. He's just not enforcing it. So how is this going to deter criminals? When you see the crimes that are happening right under the noses of the clerks in retail stores, jewelry stores, and they're told by their corporate officers, don't dare say it, don't even take pictures of them. Okay? Someone lost their job because they took a picture and took video of a crime happening inside their store, because we have these lily livers at the CEO level that don't want them to help enforce their own goods, therefore driving the cost of everything through the roof because we don't enforce against crime.